You are locked into the Random Green Podcast. Thank you very much for coming by to listen / watch this Random Green Podcast. Easy for me to say. I want to take a moment and talk to you guys, you viewers. I just got done doing a freaking. I just got done recording. I just did a 15-minute recording of this, and it didn't save it. Literally, it didn't save it, and usually it does. Usually, it does save it. So I have to start all over again. Gosh, and it was so good. It was epic. It was amazing. This podcast would have went viral. No, just kidding. Maybe one or two / listen / watch or views / listens. Easy for me to say. What the heck? I think I'm more frustrated than anything because I just got done with the 15-minute and I covered a lot of stuff. But the moral of the story is 100 years from now, it's not going to matter. I covered that. I covered a little nihilism in there, which is justified nihilism. Not like it's everything is has to be nihilistic. 15 minutes down the tube. And if it does it again, I'm going to be, I'm going to go run. No. Walk. Walk the steam off. So, to the one or two that are going to listen / watch this video podcast, and I just got done in the last, we'll get to the point, I promise, but it's random. It's random TV / podcast. / live stream / shorts. I don't like uploading shorts. It's just too short. But I get more views that way. Go figure. This podcast is brought to you by nothing. The story is, I was saying something about Ugh. So mad for doing that. I just recorded it and it didn't save it. 15 minutes of me it was a waste. But 100 years from now, it's not going to matter. Anyway, the story is Steve Green and Steve White, both born on October 12, 1970, 35 minutes apart from each other. Steve Green was born at 9:58 in the morning on October 12, 1970. And Steve White was born 10:33 in the morning, October 12th of 1970. Steve Green was born at Wally General Hospital. Just play along. And Steve White, I don't know. But Steve Green and Steve White they both live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. They both say, "Hey, how are you doing there? Hey, Ozer, how are you doing there?" No, it's not like Chicago accent. Okay. Yeah, I'm just so mad. I covered so much in that, and I just don't like. I like the original, and it's gone. It didn't save it. So this one's going to be shorter. It's not going to be 15 minutes. It better not be. It'll be about 10 minutes, maybe. And I was covering about God, I'm just so frustrated. Jiminy Christmas. There's so much. Steve Green, again, and Steve White, both born 35 minutes apart from each other, not related. So, you probably know where I'm going with this. Maybe, maybe not. Steve Green's favorite color is white. Steve White's favorite color is green. They both had a battle in the streets of Edmonton, in the industrial side of town, the industrial factories. They wanted to meet and have it out. They weren't going to fight or they weren't going to have no violence. There's no violence in the story. Because you got to be careful what you say. With YouTube, if you don't make videos and you're on YouTube, you're lucky, you know. But it's all free anyway. It's I don't get paid or anything. So, and I was talking about the podcast. I'll get to that story about the meat having it out in the industrial side of town. Well, there's a bunch of industrial areas of Edmonton and Calgary too, by the way. Gee, many Christmas! I'm so mad about that. Didn't save. Oh my goodness! 15 minutes. Oh jeez, down the drain. Not that many people. Not that many people are going to watch, but if you're one of the few, thank you very much. I was just saying about the podcast, how YouTube took the idea from podcast took the idea from the radio, essentially. And basically, YouTube turned in where you can have a video podcast, which is cool. You can watch and listen at the same time. Pretty cool, huh? So, yes, getting back to Steve Green and Steve White. Oh, yeah. Steve White was... is 6'7", so you can tell they're not even they didn't even resemble each other. Steve White, 6'7", curly, reddish, orangish hair, smooth chin, doesn't have a booty chin like me. Yes, booty chin YouTube. I said booty chin. Steve Green, sandy blonde hair, hazel eyes. 5'7", and has a big, huge booty chin in his face. It just, and he also has like a long nose. And Steve White has like a, short nose. He's like, it's, and it's high up there. It's like his nose is like right up here, and his lips way down here, and he has a really long face and high forehead. Just ever seen the movie Mask with Eric Stoltz? He kind of looks like that, but he's, Eric Stoltz, or the Mask guy, is better looking. But this guy, Steve White, he gets more chicks more ladies because he makes a lot of money. Makes lots of money. So does Steve Green, by the way. Not that it's important or anything. Anyway, these individuals, they had it out. They wanted to really... They wanted to, so they said, okay, Steve Green said, well, white's the best color. Steve White says, no, green's the best color. And one guy says to the Steve Green and Steve White, both born October 12th, 1970, different hospitals in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, born 35 minutes apart from each other. Steve White born 9:50, or I don't know what time it was. But yeah, one guy said he was the moderator of this battle. He goes, look, white's not a color, even though it's nicer than green. It looks cool. It goes with better. It goes pretty much with any color because it's the presence of all colors. And Steve Green says, see, I told you, Steve White. Green or white's better than green, Steve White. Or no, Steve Green. It's stupid. It's a random podcast. But Steve White was saying to Steve Green, look. Steve White was saying to Steve Green, look, I know green is better than white. I know green is better than white. And then Steve White goes, no, green. So frustrated. 15 minutes just down the tube of that. Steve White's favorite color is green. Steve Green's favorite color is white. But Steve, they had to battle it out, and really, they ended up doing rock, paper, scissors over it. But Steve White won and he said, but really, he said, well, technically, you're probably right, Steve White. Green is probably better than. I don't even know. I'm just so frustrated. It was, believe it or not, it was actually absolutely perfect. I wanted to cover everything I wanted to say, and I got it covered. And boy, the moral of the story is Steve Green's favorite color is white. Steve White's favorite color is green. White goes good with any color. Green is the most favorite color of Steve White's. and they just didn't get along. They really said, listen. Steve Green said to Steve White, listen, Steve White, you know what? This isn't finished. And Steve White says to Steve Green, oh yeah, it is. He says Green's better because green is an actual color. White is just the presence of colors. And then the moderator said, hey, guys know that black is the absence of all colors? And then Steve Green and Steve White told the moderators, that is very inappropriate at this point. That is a very inappropriate. There's a time and a place for everything. And that is very inappropriate. But you're right, though. The black is the absence of colors, and black, white, and even silver all go good together with green. And then the moderator also said, he says to Steve Green and Steve White, born October 12, 1970 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, he says, look, red and orange are good colors too. But if you mix red and orange together, it's even better. And then Steve Green and Steve White were blown away with awe and wonder, just like you are right now. You're at the edge of your seat listening to this amazing story podcast. That's a video podcast where you can watch and listen. Remember, YouTube got it, the podcast idea from podcast. Podcast got the idea from radio. Yeah. Anyway, I said 10 minutes and it's over 10 minutes. I do apologize. Well, no, you probably are upset that it's not an hour. You probably want it to be an hour, but with upload time and all that good stuff, I can, literally. I mean, I can, but I guess in podcasts, you just do it live and you don't have to, I don't know how they do that, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for stopping by the Random Green TV YouTube channel. And I hope you enjoyed this video podcast, or you can watch or listen. Oh, boy. Thank you all. Hey, have a good 2025, too.